and Chevy cars. Mark Ghana with you for the long run. Coming up in this edition, Ashanti Regional Police deploys more men to the town of Manso Nkwanta as police officer is shot and killed by suspected armed robbers.
There were 8 masked men who were wielding AK-47 assault rifles, a pump action, and then some other weapons. They attacked the passengers on board.
We have details on Central Regional Police Command blocks movement of pigs across the region following outbreak of African swine fever.
All policemen at the various security points and also snap check duty should make sure that they enforce these directives.
And later in the bulletin, we'll tell you why your sex drive isn't alive or even too high.
People come to me and say that, well, my husband doesn't have the drive anymore. That simply means they've lost their libido. The flip side too can be true, where your husband is really up for it all the time.
We'll hear from one of our speakers for this year's Joy, Beauty and Bridal Fair. You do not certainly want to miss this. And all these plus the social media storm generated by Gabi Asariwa-Tridako about whether or not you'll be willing to pay more taxes ahead of the mid-year budget review.
Now the system is hard, so now they are not, I think it's not good. Yes, increasing the tax base is a good initiative in one way.
We have all that and more here on the Midday News with me, Emefa Apau. Now, police in the Ashanti region have deployed more men to the Ashanti region town of Manso Nkwanta following the killing of an officer there. Some suspected armed robbers allegedly shot the officer after attacking a sprinter bus. We are learning that a number of guns belonging to the robbers have already been retrieved. Love FM's Ohiming Teria is following the story and joins us on the line with the very latest. But before we speak to him, let's hear from DSP Juliana Obing, who speaks for the Ashanti Regional Police Command.
Unfortunately, we had a robbery attack somewhere on the Manso Nkwanta road. That's Ayuebi towards Agoyesu. And the incident happened in the morning where it involved a Sprinter Benz bus with registration number AC644-15, which had on board passengers, including the slain police officer and then one other officer who fortunately has been treated and discharged, with some 4 other occupants who were on board. The bus was from Kumpasa Junction heading towards Kumasi, and on reaching a spot on the outskirts of Ayuebi Chrome, there were 8 masked men who were wielding AK-47 assault rifles, a pump action, and then some other weapons. They attacked the passengers on board the said Benz bus amidst firing. In the process, the 2 policemen who were on board the car got shot and their rifles seized. The deceased got shot with injuries in the abdomen, and then the other one got shot having a dislocation of the left arm. Unfortunately, like I said, we've lost one. One has been fortunately treated and discharged, and the other 4 occupants are also still at the hospital receiving treatment. Now, upon intelligence that we gathered until yesterday, fortunately for us, we proceeded to an area called Domebepos, which is a village near Manso Nkwanta.
So we had the DSP Juliana Obing, quite a serious situation there, but Ohiming Teria has been following this incident and joins us on the line. So Ohiming, since we last spoke to DSP Juliana Obing, what's the latest?
Thank you, MFA. The police have proceeded to Manso Domebeposo, where it has managed to retrieve 4 AK-47 assault rifles, a pump action gun, and then boxes of assorted ammunition. But as we speak now, nobody has been arrested in this regard. I have been informed that the lead police officer identified as Lance Corporal Daniel Tieku, the family has been informed of his demise, while the Lance Corporal Kwabrenti, who also sustained gunshot injuries, has been treated and discharged. For now, police want residents to complement the efforts that they are putting into ensure their personal security and safety.
Protection of life and property is our core mandate, and so for us, whichever amount is lost, whichever person we lose, we don't get satisfied with it. When it comes to issues of security, it doesn't just start and end with the police. Issues of security extends to other doors. And so if you live in an area where your road is not good, it is an issue of security. If you live in an area where your lighting system is bad, it is an issue of security. If the water flowing in the area is not the best, it is an issue of security, because then you probably might have to travel a distance to go to a certain area to go get water. And in that process, anything could be happening. Much as we try to do our best, we'd also encourage that other authorities, other individuals would also do what they need to do. You would not exclude yourself from society by going to build in the deepest outskirt of town where you know that there's no power, there's no water, or even road network in that area is not the best. And so let's look at all of these things.
Now, Henning, finally, another officer has been killed in the line of duty. His colleagues will obviously be affected. Did they manage to speak to you, and what have they been saying?
Unfortunately, I spoke to some of them, but they were not in the right frame of mind to respond to the issues. But I can tell you, they have been demoralized by the incident, as DSP Juliana Obeng also echoed.
Yes, it does. I mean, when we lose one of our own, I'm short of words, but it doesn't come easy to us, especially when the person is on a lawful duty. It really doesn't come easy to us. But then again, per training, we know that some of these things come with a job, but not when it is coming from these kind of miscreants like you earlier described them. And so yes, yesterday it wasn't pleasant at all, but like we said, it is not just because it is one of our own, but we see him as a Ghanaian, and so we would need to move and then get these suspects arrested. And indeed we will. I'm sure in the shortest possible time, I should be able to come back to tell Ghanaians that yes, we said we're going to move on intelligence that we have picked, and we have been able to arrest these.
So you heard that DSP Juliana Obeng, who speaks for the Ashanti Regional Police Command. From one region to the other, we head to the Central Region now, where we understand that Police Command has blocked movement of pigs across the region following outbreak of African swine fever there. My colleague Richard Kojonyako joins us on the line with the very latest on this issue. So what more do we know about this African swine fever outbreak in the Central Region?
Well, MFI has become a very serious issue to the extent that the veterinary services in the region have written to the police service to help them to enforce the ban on the movement of pigs from one destination to the other. And so education is ongoing, and the police say that they are yet to draw a roadmap to clamp down on people that are willing or that have decided to move some things from one place to the other. As you will expect that there is some kind of anxiety among the people because it affected the intake of pork, and the businesses are saying that they are suffering as a result of the ban or of the movement of the pigs in the Central Region.
I'm sure you've interacted with some consumers as well as farmers. What exactly are their concerns regarding this outbreak?
They fear the incalculable losses that this ban would bring on their businesses. Already, it slowed down their businesses because people are very cautious and they would not want to purchase or patronize the pork because of the announcement. And education is ongoing in the various media houses in the Central Region, and so businesses are really concerned about those.
Richard, a Central Regional Correspondent, Richard Kojonyako. Now let's head to Parliament, because we know that the Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, will be in Parliament next week to present the mid-year review of the 2017 budget statement. But ahead of that, the minority are raising some concerns about a possible tax increment, notably VAT, from 17.5% to 20%, among others. And my colleague Parker Wilson is in Parliament for us and joins us on the line. So what exactly are the concerns of the minority, Parker?
Yes, of course. The minority would want to know exactly what the finance minister will be saying on next week Thursday. But then their major concern is about the absence of the finance minister anytime the House has invited him to come and present a statement. So the minority leader, Harun Idrisi, clearly stated that if next week Thursday, if the finance minister fails to appear before Parliament, for them, the minority, they resist any attempt by the leadership of the House, and he was referring to the Speaker of Parliament, to persuade them into listening to Deputy finance ministers because they want the finance ministers to come so they can ask him all the relevant questions for him to give them all the relevant answers as well. So for them, they're not going to entertain any deputy minister in the house, but then they will want to see the finance minister make himself available to the house next week Thursday.
Very well, Parker Wilson. But staying on the issue of a possible tax increment, we've been speaking to some Ghanaians on their thoughts on this possible increment.
I believe taxes are the basic source of funds for government development. And so governments have thought it wise to increase taxes. I believe we can meet government halfway, not necessarily increasing it so it becomes a burden onto us, but at least we should understand that it is our taxes that help develop the country, especially the economy, a couple of things, infrastructure development, schools, health, So if government is increasing taxes, I don't believe there should be a government goal to just increase taxes, but then tax increments should also reflect in developmental.
It's not good for tax now. Now the system is hard, so now they are. I think it's not good because if the tax increase, the salary is the same. So I imagine
they increase tax, and I think they will use it for a good purpose. I think it will help. When you go outside the country, like the European countries, they'll be using the tax for so many things, which I think if they use it for a good purpose, now I'm with them.
Yes, increasing the tax base is a good initiative in one way because it's actually the major source of government revenue. Okay, so if the government thinks that yes, there are idle sector or there are idle in the tax system, then it has to push in more efforts in getting enough. But still, there is a loophole in that we have to look at the source of revenue to the economy, the general economy. You understand? Great.
Some of your thoughts there on the streets of Accra on a possible tax increment remains to be seen when the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta appears in Parliament next week Thursday. Now, away from tax issues, member of the Disciplinary Committee of the General Legal Council, Sam Okudzeto, is challenging the power of the High Court to overturn its decision to suspend human rights lawyer Francis Xavier Susu. The celebrated human rights lawyer was handed a 3-year ban on June 1, 2017 for touting and personal advertisement on social media. The High Court overturned the sanction, stating human rights abuse. Speaking on upfront on the Joy News channel on Multi TV, Mr. Okudzeto told Raymond Akwa that the High Court lacked jurisdiction on this matter.
Well, the courts, sometimes some of them don't understand. Because because the High Court purporting to be overturned the decision of the disciplinary committee, forgetting that on the disciplinary committee you had actually 3 Supreme Court judges. Now, what makes the High Court judge think that he understands the issues more than Supreme Court judges who were taking the decision?
But it's not a legal procedure. If the person has a problem, go to the High Court.
No, it's not even High Court. It's the Court of Appeal supposed to be appealed to the High Court. The appeal court. But even when the appeal court was given that power, it was the final court of the land. So technically, the decisions can only be reversed by the Supreme Court.
Supreme Court. Interesting.
So judges were assuming power which they don't have. You have to look at the who are giving this. Exactly. Because you say we are taking this. Did you sit with us? Did you know the facts as they were? What are you reversing?
They say the human rights of the person were.
The way you see the human rights now is being bombarded. I see lawyers who are stolen money, and then when they come before the disciplinary committee, then they rush to the High Court to say that human rights. And I ask them, whose human rights are you talking about? What is the person you cheated? He doesn't have. He doesn't have a human rights.
The case in contest had to do with one, advertising.
Yes.
Yes, and also be reported by a client of taking some amount of money, like 50,000 from the client.
Yes, of course. But you're not supposed to advertise. It's part of the rules. It's quite clear in the rules that you're not supposed to advertise. But here you go on the line, and then you put your you dress in wig and gown. And you say you are a human rights lawyer. You act pro bono. People who are pro bono should come to you. That is advertisement. Who made you a pro bono lawyer? And then if you say pro bono, where are you collecting money from the people? Pro bono means free. Pro bono is free.
So now I'm confused. But he's been let go. He's going to practice his law.
Well, he will still get himself into more trouble. Don't worry.
It's interesting to know that. And maybe I have to, they say my time is up.
And then he changed his psychic.
About how, but he's seen as a human rights advocate.
He's not a human rights advocate.
Helping people.
He's starting to make...
You heard the member of the disciplinary committee of the General Legal Council, Sam Okujeto. Now, member of the Energy Committee in Parliament, Edward Bauer, is accusing Energy Minister of stampeding Parliament by asking them to ratify the ECG concession agreement before the end of this month. According to him, the limited time will not allow the House to do a thorough assessment of the agreement. Mr. Bauer tells Joy News he is also not convinced that there wouldn't be any involuntary redundancy, citing the Vodafone experience. He has therefore challenged the minister to provide details of how the ministry intends to safeguard employees of ECG after the takeover.
The minister has told us that nobody voluntarily will lose the job, and that there's going to just be a movement of the workers from ECG as an entity into the new company.
Exactly.
That will come into being.
It's a power distribution service. That's what they need.
Yeah. We have no problem with that. The question is that we have seen it before under Vodafone. Under Vodafone, we were all made to understand that nobody was going to lose his job. And that on the basis of just the transfer of 70% of the share, total value to Vodafone by the state was not going to result in that. And we knew that a few months after that, a lot of people had to look for jobs.
He also wants the ministry to make public the names of individuals behind the 3 local companies partnering Meralco in the agreement. He believes those behind the companies are not Ghanaians.
It is important for the purposes of transparency, as we have always said, and I'm happy that if you look at the deputy minister, one of the deputy ministers, Anta, who used to be at Energy ISEP, he had always talked about the issue of beneficiary ownership. It is to enhance transparency. If you say you have company A being a member of the consortium, who owns that company? They will always tell you to go to Register General. Register General, you will get directors of the company. They may not necessarily be the beneficial owners of the company. And so it is important that the state, in the spirit of transparency, tell us who are the people behind it.
You want the names of those behind the local companies,
because it is important.
You hear the member of Parliament's Energy Committee, Edward Bauer there. You're still listening to the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. Thanks for staying with us. We'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll tell you why your sex drive isn't alive or even too high.
People come to me and say that, well, my husband doesn't have the drive anymore. That simply means they've lost their libido. The flip side too can be true, where your husband is really up for it all the time.
We'll hear from one of our speakers for this year's Joy, Beauty and Bridal Fair. You certainly don't want to miss that. We'll be right back.
Let's go,
My name is Kwame Sefakai, and most of you know me as a media personality. But I am also a family man. The UMB mobile banking app, UMB Speed App, saves me so much time by letting me do almost all of my banking transactions on my phone. The cardless withdrawal feature allows me to withdraw cash from any UMB ATM without an ATM card. I can also pay bills, transfer money, request for a loan, invest money, and so much more. So now, I can spend less time at the bank and more time with the ones I love. Bank anywhere and anytime with a UMB mobile banking app, UMB Speed App, and get the time to do what you love most. Download the UMB Speed App from your Android, iOS, or Windows phone today. Call 0302-633-988 for more information. UMB Speed App, Digibank, let's go!
That is the sweet sound of excellence. That is the sound from Mack. Yes, Mack Ghana is the #1 distributor of the world's best quality Isuzu and Chevrolet vehicles in Ghana. Isuzu trucks from 1.5 tons to heavy-duty vehicles. Isuzu buses from 15 to 33 seaters, double and single cabin pickup, available in automatic and manual transmissions. We also stock a wide range of Chevy cars, from SUVs, sedans, and small cars, fully loaded with exquisite specifications. All our range of vehicles stand out due to its high fuel efficiency, safety, luxury, spacious interior, world-class delivery, and after-sales servicing. What's more, we offer flexible payment terms to meet your pocket. Mark Ghana is a sole distributor for Isuzu trucks and pickups, as well as all range of Chevrolet cars in Ghana. Call us on 0302-813-919 in Accra or 0242-039-550 in Kumasi. Visit our website at markghana.com. Mark Ghana, with you for the long run.
This is the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. It's time now for sports with Benedict Owusu.
Yes, sir, afternoon. And Ghana has been stripped of the hosting right of the FIFA, the African Under-17 qualifying championships following the recent football crisis in the country. Now, CAF has selected Niger to host the 6 other teams in the Wafu Zone B for the new qualification format. Now, Kwame Asamoah has more.
Each of the 6 zonal unions, CISAFA, CUSAFA, UNAF, UNIFAC, Wafu Zone A and Wafu Zone B, will organize their regional qualifiers featuring teams from the zone. UEFA, through its UEFA Assist program, is supporting the qualifiers. The new qualifying format is part of the suggested reforms discussed at the first ever CAF African Football Symposium in July 2017 in Rabat, Morocco, which was approved by the CAF Executive Committee. Ghana will now have to travel to Niger to compete against the likes of Cote d'Ivoire, Nigeria, Togo, Burkina Faso, Niger, Benin, and the host nation for the sole qualification slot.
So that was Nana Kwame Asamoah's report. Well, for the Accra Hearts of Folk fans out there, Wilford Kobna, your talented midfielder, has joined Albanian side KF Tirana on a 3-year deal. And also, the Chelsea fans are also, your manager Antonio Conte, finally they've parted company with Antonio Conte. His first season with Chelsea, won the English Premier League, and then second season, won the English FA Cup, and they say that's not good enough for him to continue as coach of the team.
To whom much is given, much is expected. Benedict Owusu with the latest from the world of sport. Now we wrap up Joy News Agenda for this week, and we've been looking at human activities such as improper handling of waste and how these activities lead to flooding. Inathalia Kwanza is in the Western region.
Ayadu, a suburb of Sekindi Takrade, quite recently, the entire place was flooded just because of the poor drainage system and the volumes of water that run over here anytime there is heavy downpour. As you can see, occupants of the entire household have been locked in there.
There is a culvert that has been built there by 2 people, and they have diverted the water, and then the water passes through in between people's bed. It's a mess, and then it comes here, and because it is artificially made, it turns angle of 90 degrees at various points. And I haven't seen water that turns angle of 90 degrees. That means it has been tampered with, and somebody has diverted it. And now the water empties onto my property, and it's a hair.
At the market circle, undoubtedly, the biggest business center in the Twin City is also not spared of the flooding anytime it rains. But over here, the coconut retail business is the first to welcome you to the center, no matter which of the 6 entering and exit points you use. What has been silent about the trade is how the coconut husks are disposed of.
We put the husk inside the communal container here at the market circle. But I'm also aware some of my colleagues dump it on the floor where they sell. I can't even tell if it is the intention of my other colleagues to make this place dirty or they come to make profits.
Inathalia Kwanza will join News Agenda from the Western region. Now, alumni of the KNUST University Hall, popularly known as Katanga, are resisting a decision by school authorities to assign females to all-male hall. Now, 9 out of 43 females in the first batch of continuing students to be given accommodation were allocated to the hall. Vice-Chancellor of the university, Professor Obri Danso, early this year announced plans to convert all-male halls, University Hall and Rivals Unity Hall, into mixed halls. But the alumni say the action will break the culture of these halls. Collins Kankam Kwating speaks for the University Hall alumni.
I don't think any parent will allow the daughter to go to Katanga or Unity. I believe strongly that. You see,
Katanga is male-oriented or male-infested everything. We have you see, the thing is a brand. And the whole anthem speaks for itself. The heart of KNUST, Katanga is a name. The whole of real intellectuals, the University Hall, a united family of brothers. We rest not. Today, the university authorities are saying that we should change that line of the anthem and include ladies in there. I don't think it will be possible. And I don't think that any female will want to go and sleep there. They can paste whatever list. They can say that they have put people in Katanga. But I believe strongly in my heart and the heart of the many thousands of Katangis that are going through this emotional trauma that no lady, I think, very sure, will go and sleep in Katanga. And we are waiting to see the first lady who will step foot in Katanga. No lady can do that.
Is it that some students are going to stage a resistance or what?
Whatever we want to say or whatever we want to do, we are keeping it to our chest.
So you have the alumni, Collins Kankam Kwarting, who speaks for the University Hall alumni on the conversion of the male hall into a mixed hall. Now, is it too high, too low, or just right? Now, if your sex drive isn't alive and kicking, should you be concerned? Well, ahead of the marriage seminar tomorrow for the Joy, Beauty and Bridal Fair, Dr. Yawo Safo, who will be speaking on a theme preparing for a satisfying sexual experience, explains why your sex life may not be the best. Listen.
The male hormone, or the hormone we call testosterone, or it's an androgens. We have these androgens are responsible for libido. When we talk about libido, we are talking about an overall desire for sex. In my line of work as a doctor, most of the time people will come to me and say that, well, my husband doesn't have the drive anymore, or my wife just can't be bothered about sex anymore. That simply means they've lost their libido. And libido is controlled by this group of hormones we collectively call androgens. And it just may be that they don't have enough androgens circulating, and that is why they have lost that interest in sex, or they've lost their libido. And that needs to be looked at. So we don't just take it lightly when you say, oh, my husband is no longer interested, or my wife is no longer interested. The flip side too can be true, where your husband is really up for it all the time, and then sometimes that is also a worry. Or it just may be that he has a lot of androgens running around in his body.
So you have Dr. Osafo, you know why you have to be part of that marriage seminar tomorrow, preparing for a satisfying sexual experience. That's what he'll be speaking on. But you would want to make a date with us at the Accra International Conference Center all the way till Sunday. And Maxwell Agbagba has been there. He witnessed the opening ceremony. He's been there today and joins us in the studio. I know your sex drive is just normal. You are not married, so you don't have to have a sex drive.
Yes, now. I don't. In fact, I don't have.
Why? But why should I not miss this year's Joy, Beauty and Bridal Fair?
Well, we went there today, as you rightly mentioned. The exhibitors are still there. We had loads of patrons, this morning coming through. Now, later, what is happening this evening is the happy hour. I interacted with the project lead. He told me that the happy hour essentially is going to provide patrons the opportunity to shop. So while shopping, you can also enjoy some good music. There will also be kizomba. There will also be salsa, and a lot of food and a lot of drinks also will be available. So all these things will be, running simultaneously as you go about, your shopping at the Accra International Conference Center.
I'm sure you're preparing to get married. Maxwell Agbagba there. Now it's time to check out what's trending on social media. I'm sure we are talking taxes.
Obviously, but there's also the bit about Croatia. It appears a lot of Ghanaians are tipping Croatia to win the World Cup over the weekend. But a bit about taxes. Gabi Asare Ochredak, who is a private legal practitioner, he posted something on his Facebook that has got a lot of response. He wrote, will you support a VAT increase to keep your lights on, your secondary schools filled, your school kids fed, your streets clean, your streets safe, young graduates employed, and decent, affordable homes built for working families? So Kwesi Afrani commented, no, please, first look at cutting waste in every sense of the word across board while maximizing the mobilization of revenues. He adds efficiency. Fahima Sali says, not at all, we are already overburdened. And the last one by Pope John Bonny says, I would rather support a wider tax net than an increased tax levy.
I'm sure he's testing our pulse ahead of Thursday's mid-year budget review.
Thank
you very much, Joseph Akoble. And that's it for the midday news today here on Joy 99.7 FM. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. Let's meet at the Accra International Conference Center for the Joy Beauty and Bridal Fair. I am MF Apo. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon.
I love my wife.